If it is, it's a red Sharpie marker. Hopefully that doesn't upset anyone. I know some people don't like writing in red, but it's the only one I could find. So that you can see the folds a little bit better on the screen there. If you've got any questions, if anything's not entirely clear, please do comment them on here. I will try and address them as quickly as I can. If you like what we're doing, please do like. The fan is on. Hopefully that's not going to cause too much of an issue. But if I don't have it on, I will die. So we're going to start off with a shape called a Flexagon, and I'm going to put this here so that you can see the paper, which is really all you need to be able to see. Now, to do this, we don't need a rectangular piece of paper like this. We need a square piece of paper. Now, for those of you who don't know how to turn a rectangular piece of paper into a square piece of paper, I will show you. Take one of the corners, and you're going to fold that over so that this flat bit here lies flat along the top. And the more careful and the more precise and accurate you are with this fold, the better the end result is going to be. So the more square you can get this, the better you can get this fold, the more accurate you can get this fold, the better. Now, I'm not any good at origami, so I'm going to take a lot of time and a lot of care to do this so that I can get it done to the best quality that I can for you. You're going to fold that down. Now, you'll see that there's a line of paper just here. I'm just going to dash along it a little bit like this here. You'll see that there is a line of paper just there. In fact, so this doesn't go through, I'm going to put some paper underneath it, I think, when I'm doing that. And this line here that I've put the dots along is your square edge. So you want to be able to cut along there. So what we're going to do, we're going to turn this over, and we're just going to fold so that this little... I'm going to do this on the table so I can see it a bit better. So you're going to fold so that the fold is flat against the line there, as best as possible. There we go, I'm pretty happy with that. And you're going to fold that as flat as you can. I'm just going to turn this over a little bit. In fact, actually, you can see here there's fold corner is there, so I'm just going to refold that a little bit there, I think. There we go. Make that flat. Perfect. Refold it. There. And then what we're going to do, we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut along this line, and that will give us a square piece of paper. Now that's all we need to do this. We just need a square piece of paper, and we're going to make something called a Flexagon. Now a Flexagon is a shape, it's a 2D shape, but you can fold it, and when you fold it, you reveal different sides to the shape. Now what that means is, once you've made this, you can draw different pictures on there, such as Pokemon or whatever. And you can say maybe have a Bulbasaur on one side, and then you can have like a Venusaur on the next one, an Ivysaur on the other. And you can make it, you can fold it so that it looks like the Pokemon is evolving. So it could go Pichu, Pikachu, Raichu. It could go Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard, or something like that. You could have different. You could have your favourite. What's the Paw Pals thing? And what we're going to do, now we've got a square piece of paper. We're going to turn this square into a sort of grid of squares. We're going to fold this over like this. There we go. And again, you want to be as accurate as you possibly can be with these folds. So we're going to keep this as... There we go. I'm going to make these folds as nice and tight as possible. It's like making a paper aeroplane. In fact, actually, I'll show you how to make the best paper aeroplane after I've done this, before I show you my favourite shapes. Because the best paper aeroplane, you have to fold really, 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 really well. Otherwise, it's not gonna fly particularly well. If you do have any questions, feel free to ask them. So you've folded it now on the straights there. You're going to turn it round and you're going to fold it the other way now, so that you get loads and loads and loads of little squares on it. So we're going to do this. There we go. Now I did a whole, if you go on YouTube, if you go on the Non-Stop Kids YouTube channel, if you go on YouTube and you type in Non-Stop Kids Entertainment, you'll find a whole video where I taught you how to make 3 different types of Flexagons. One you sort of fold through itself, one is sort of like a hexagon shape, and this one is my favourite. It's a square shape. So we now have a little grid here. Now what we need to do, you'll see here, we put these dots along here. There's this nice big 2x2 square in the middle, and we don't need this anymore. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut out this middle bit. Now, there we go. Now there's a few ways that you can cut it out. What you can do, you can sort of stab the scissors in and you can cut around like that, and you can get a parent to help you. But there is a better way mathematically to cut that, to fold it. And what I'll do is I'll show you. What you want to do is fold it. It's called the fold and cut theorem, and I did another video on this on the YouTube channel. And that is any shape that is made entirely of straight on a piece of paper, you can fold it so that you only have to make one cut to cut that shape out. And you can cut out a star in one cut, you can cut out a bat in one cut, you can cut out all of the letters of the alphabet and make your name in one cut. But there's so much stuff you can do. I made a video of that on the YouTube channel as well, and I'm going to show you. Essentially what you have to do is line the lines up. So the first thing to do is fold it in half so that the lines are lined up like that. Fold it in half again like this so that the lines are lined up. And then if you fold it in half along the diagonal, and you've already got a diagonal fold from earlier, if you're just basically following the folds that you've already got, you have one line on both sides. And if you then cut along that line, now I know I said I wouldn't do any magic today, but this I think is magic. That's one cut, and that is a perfect square, and that is also a perfect square just there as well. Now we don't need that little square, so you can get rid of that. We just need this weird and wonderful sort of shape now. So we've got 4 squares along the top, 2 squares on each side, and then 4 squares along the bottom. And we're going to do 3 very easy folds and 1 very complicated fold. Now if you've missed this, you can start at the beginning of live when it goes live. So the first one, we're going to fold this one over like it's a book, like that. And you're just following the folds that you've already made here. Now we're going to fold this one over, the top one over, we're going to fold it down like it's a book folding down. We're going to fold this one over like you're closing a book, and they are the 3 easy folds. Now comes the difficult fold. We need to fold this one up so that it goes underneath this piece here. So this piece needs to fold up, and it needs to go underneath this bit. So this bit needs to sort of flip in and under like that. So we now have a square shape that holds itself together. Now if you missed that, you can watch the live back again a little bit later on, or if you've got any questions, you can go through that. Now this, believe it or not, is a 6-sided shape. And I know it doesn't look like it, but I will prove it to you. So here we have one side. I'm going to draw the 1 on the one side. On the other side we have a 2 side. Now if we go back to the one side and we fold it in half so that we can see the 2 side, and then we unfold it, we have a side that's not got any numbers on it yet. So we'll call this the 3 side. Now we've got the 3 side, we're going to turn it back so that we've got the 1 side, and if we fold it up and then unfold it again, we've got another side that's not got any numbers on it. So we're going to call this one the 4 side. Now, if we fold it back and then open it up again, we're back to the 1 side. If we turn it over, we're on the 2 side. If we fold it in half and open it up again, we've got a side that's not been written on yet. So we're going to call this the 5 side. Now, if we fold this back and open it up, we're back to the 2 side. If we fold this up from the bottom, fold this over, we've got one more side that's not yet been written on. This is going to be our side number 6. And that is a 6-sided flexagon. And it's called a flexagon because if you fold it in different ways and open it up, you get to different sides. Now my favourite thing to do with this is to draw like a picture here, or draw like 6 random pictures, and you can just fold it in any random way, and you can try and make a story with those pictures. So for instance, you could have a picture of a rabbit here, and you could say this rabbit's name is Hoppy. Hoppy lived in a nice big field. Now one day Hoppy decided to go, and you can open it up to 3 and it could be a place, and it could be like a shop or a fire station. Hoppy decided to go to the fire station to meet the firefighters. Now while he was there was an emergency call to, and there could be like a barn or farm here, to a barn. The barn was on fire, so Hoppy got to ride along with the fire. And you can have like different pictures. You could make up lots of different stories. So you could have like 3 places and 3 characters, and you could like have things there, or you could have different Pokemon on here. So you could have like a Charmander here, and you can have like a Bulbasaur here. And then if you fold it in a certain way like this, you get like a Charizard or whatever. That is one of my favourite things to do with this shape. Now, I wasn't going to show you this, but I am going to show you this. I'm going to show you my absolute all-time favourite paper aeroplane design before I go on to one of my all-time favourite shapes in the world, which is called a Mobius strip. I'm going to show you a cool thing that you can do with a Mobius strip there, because but you've been with me for about 15 minutes now, so I'm going to show you a cool paper aeroplane design. Now for this you need a rectangular sheet of A4 paper. If you're in America, I think letter size is the closest that we've got to A4 size. What we're going to do, we're going to fold it in half. Now all of these folds need to be as accurate as you can make them. So we're going to put that there, we're going to put that there, we're going to line it up as best as we possibly can, and we're going to fold it like this. Fold it in half like that, and you're going to crease it so that it is a really, really, really good fold. This is the best paper aeroplane design I have ever found. I used to have a book of paper aeroplane designs, and this was my favourite one from that book of paper aeroplane designs. So now what we're going to do, we've got our nice central line here. In fact, I'm just going to dot it a little bit with the Sharpie marker so you can see it. And what we're going to do, we're going to take each of these corners, that corner, the top corner here and the top corner here, so the corners furthest away from you, and you're going to fold them so that they are along that centre line, so that they lie as flat as you possibly can along that centre line. You're going to make these folds as good as you possibly can. Really, really tight fold thing on this side. So that goes in there like that. That is perfect. And this has been my favourite paper aeroplane design that I've found since I was about 8. And I've looked into a lot of them because why not? But yeah, since I was about 8. Best paper aeroplane ever. So you fold it like that. Now what you're going to do, you're going to take this point at the top here, and you're going to fold it over so that it is probably about 1.5 inches, about 4 centimetres away, like that. So you've got let's make sure it's straight. That is as straight as I can make it. So you want these sort of little bits here. There we go. You want these little tiny bits here. They need to be about maybe 1 inch, 2.5 centimetres long. You've got a nice little point down here which is lying on the middle, and you can see your centre fold all the way down here. Now what we're going to do, we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to take this corner and this corner, and we're going to fold them in to the centre line. So I'm going to just do that. And this here. Perfect. Now what's really good, you can make these when you're bored in a class and you can throw them at the teacher. That's something that you could do. Now if you do that, what you need to do, you need to throw it when the teacher's not looking, and then you need to blame the person sitting next to you. That's what you need to do, right? Okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to put that here, fold it along here like this. So you're going to make one of these in class, you're going to throw it at your teacher, and then she's going to turn around and she's going to be really like, or he's going to turn around and be like, who threw that? And then you're going to be like, it was that person there sitting next to me, sir, or miss. Right, and then what you're going to do, you're going to fold this little bottom piece here back over. You're going to keep that nice and flat. So now you've got like a little flat sort of envelope shape almost, I guess. You're then going to turn it over, and you're going to fold it in half along that centre line that you made earlier. And if you've done this well, if you've done this right, you'll find that it matches exactly. Then what you need is some wings. So you're going to take the wings and you're going to fold them over. Now I always fold it so that this bit here lies flat along the bottom here. So that goes flat along the bottom there like that. And this is the best paper aeroplane design I have ever found. Ever. It is like the most fun paper aeroplane design to make ever. And then what we're going to do, we're going to turn this over. And this is going to lie along the bottom as well. We're going to fold it so that it matches that other wing as best as we possibly can make it. There we go. Then what you're going to do, just going to flip these wings up a little bit. And that is the best paper aeroplane design I have ever found. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to turn the camera around like this. Now, the living room's a little bit of a mess at the moment because I've been ironing. But what we're going to do, we're going to take the paper aeroplane and look at how flat that went. Obviously it didn't go very far, but yeah, that is the, because there's not far for it to go, but that is the absolute all-time best paper aeroplane design I have ever seen. Right, okay. Do we have any more comments? Let's just check. There we go. Oh, hit the thing as well. Right, but yeah, that is my favourite, my best paper aeroplane design ever. Guys, please do make one of those. Don't do it in class like I suggested. You'll get into trouble, and I don't want you to get into trouble. But yeah, what I'm going to do... Yeah, I think what I'm going to do, I've got about 10 more minutes left before so what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you something called a Mobius strip, and I'm going to teach you how to make the best gift that you can give ever. Okay, so if you're a child, when you're a bit older, and you start dating people and you want to give someone a nice Valentine's gift, I'm going to teach you the best Valentine's gift to give someone. And if you're already old and you're married, or you've got a boyfriend or girlfriend, or significant other, and you want to give them the most romantic gift in the world ever, I'm going to teach you how to do that. And it's using something called a Mobius Loop. Now, I'll show you what a Mobius Loop is first. And I'll show you, okay, so what we need to do this is a piece of paper, and we need to turn this piece of paper into a strip of paper. So if you fold it in half, and then you fold it in half again, this is where we're going to need the glue as well. So if you're following along, this is where you need to get your glue out. So we're going to fold it along here like this, so that we've now got sort of 4 strips. I put my scissors. And we're just going to use one of these strips for now. In fact, we're going to use all 4 of these strips. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put that along there. Perfect. So we now have 1 strip. Now, if I'd have been prepared, which I wasn't clearly, I would have pre-made these strips so that you wouldn't have to do this. But however, if you're following along at home, this is a good way to see what we're doing. So we're going to have 4 strips like this. We're going to make 4 Mobius loops. And we're going to need a lot of glue for these, because otherwise they could fall apart, and we definitely don't want that. So we're going to do this, do this. Do this, there we go. Right, now, a normal loop is made when you take one of these strips and you glue the ends together like this. And that is incredibly boring. If you stick 2 of them together, that's a little bit more interesting. And I've got a video on that on the non. If you want to go and have a look more at Mobius loops, one of the first maths videos I think I did is about a Mobius loop. But what we're going to do instead, put some glue along one edge like this. Instead of gluing it together like that, like a boring person, we're going to put a twist in it, and we're going to glue it together like this. This is now called a Mobius loop. In fact, I'm going to need another strip in just a minute, because I should have done something else before I did this to show you what I wanted to show you. But this is now called a Mobius loop. Now this Mobius loop is one-sided. So if I was to take this pen and I was to draw it along here, we would get back to the start, and I'll show you this in the maths video. But one cool thing about this, and if you've seen Craig's video on how to walk through a piece of paper, it's a little bit similar. If you cut this in half, cut right down the middle, you don't get two pieces of Mobius loop, you get one nice long piece of Mobius loop like this. And it's a little bit more twisted. In fact, this is now a threefold Mobius loop, and if I hold it like this, you will see that it's actually the recycling symbol, which is what the recycling symbol is, just a threefold Mobius loop. If you're into your maths, which I am, because I'm a little bit sad like that. What I'm going to do though, I'm just going to make one more strip of paper, and I'm going to show you the best thing that you can do with a Mobius loop. I'm also going to show you what not to do with the Mobius loop. We're going to start off by gluing two of them together and then cutting them in half. Now, there's two ways that you can fold the Mobius loops. You can fold them clockwise or anti-clockwise. Now, it doesn't matter which way you fold them, but what does matter is in a minute, because we're going to stick two of them together. It matters if you fold them both clockwise, or if you fold one clockwise or anti-clockwise, or basically it matters if you fold them both the same direction or not. So what we're going to do, we're going to glue two strips of paper into a cross shape like that. Hopefully you can see it. Like that. It's telling me to rotate my device. Like that there. So I'm just going to quickly do that here. Now you want to use a lot of glue here, because if you don't use a lot of glue, apart, and we don't want that. So we're going to put a nice big blob of glue in the middle. We're going to put that on the top like that. We're going to stick it down, and then what we're going to do, we're going to glue underneath the edges like so. We're going to put this here, and we're going to just sort of fold this bit up, and we're going to glue along the edge here, and we're going to glue along the other edge as well, so that there is absolutely loads of glue holding this together as well, because we don't want this to all fall apart. Put that there. That should hopefully be enough glue. We'll let that dry a little bit, and while we're doing that, we're just going to do the same thing on the other one. We're going to put a load of glue just here. And you can do this with tape as well. If you do this with tape, use a load of tape. Just make sure it is properly stuck down, because if you don't make sure it's stuck down, it will come apart, and that will be no good for anyone. So that can go there, loads of glue there, and loads of glue here. Now, I said this was going to be the best Valentine's Day gift, but I'm going to show you what not to do first. So we now have our two sort of crosses like this, and we're going to make two Mobius loops. Now, what not to do is to twist them in the same direction. So I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to put some glue on this edge of the Mobius loop here, so we can glue them together. Now, I'm going to twist the right hand one towards the camera and glue them together. I'm going to turn it over and put some more glue on this side. Right hand one, twist it towards the camera and glue them together. So these have got the same twistiness in them. Your live broadcast has been paused. It should resume shortly. There we go. So these have got the same twistiness in them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down the middle of this Mobius loop like that, like I did with the other one earlier. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm just going to keep them both together a little bit for demonstration purposes. I'm going to cut down the middle of this Mobius loop as well. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask them, by the way. I don't mind. I will do my best to answer them. Obviously, if I don't know the answer, I'll make it up. And then we're going to finish cutting these in half, like so. And we're going to get two bits of paper. There's one that sort of looks a bit like a diamond, maybe some lips, and one that looks a bit like maybe an 8 or something like that. And these are not what you want to make. These are cool and different and not expected. If you watch my YouTube video, you'll see exactly why. But this is not what you want. If you're going to make a nice romantic gift, you need to do something slightly differently. You need to twist them in different directions, and I'll show you what I mean. So this time I'm going to put some glue on my left hand one, and in my right hand one I'm going to take it and twist it towards the camera like I've done the last few times. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to put some glue, same place that I've always put the glue, on the Mobius Loops, just to make things easy for me. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, now instead of twisting this one towards the camera, I'm going to twist it away from the camera. So these Mobius loops now twist in different directions. Now, believe it or not, now that they twist in different thing and cut them in half, something completely different is going to happen. We're going to cut along here like this. Cut the same as we have done previously. That goes here, this goes here. We're going to cut along here. Like I said, or maybe if it's your mum's birthday coming up, like it is mine. If you're struggling to get her a present, or if your dad's birthday is coming up and you're struggling to get him a present, or if it's Christmas, so you need to get someone a present, this is a really cool thing to do. I'm going to cut along there, cut along here, cut along here, and this is the best gift to give to someone that you absolutely love, because, and I will show you, this is now 2 hearts linked together like that, and that I think is the best gift that you can give to someone. And it just blows my mind that just changing one twist can go from this pile of absolute rubbish to this absolutely amazingly romantic gesture that you can give to someone that you love, or really nice gesture you can give to your parents if you really want to, as a present. That is some fun math shapes. They are my favourite math shapes. My favourite paper aeroplane, the Flexagon, which I think is just so cool. There is the paper aeroplane. There's the Mobius Loops. If you want to have a little bit more Mobius Loops and some more things you can do, cool maths things you can do with paper, scissors and glue. If you go on to YouTube and look for Non-Stop Kids Entertainment, you'll find a video of me doing loads of cool stuff with Mobius Loops, for some stuff with Flexagons. There's even other bits and pieces on there. There's how to write in secret messages. There's how to do some math tricks using magic tricks using maths. If you don't want any of me, there's loads of us doing magic. There's loads of us doing things like teaching you Makaton sign language. Excuse me. There's cooking tutorials, there's stories, there's dancing, there's so much stuff on there. Guys, thank you very much. Have a fantastic day. I've been Alex Foden for Non-Stop Kids Entertainment.